How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner, the other host, also a guy on this podcast. I don't know. When I got to the end of that, we were doing so good. Now to close out the year or to start the year, I suppose this drops as the beginning.
That's right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to start the new year. Well, it's all about resolutions, and my New Year's resolution, one of the things I guess is to think about what I'm saying before we hit play or record, I suppose, because
record.
Or just maybe practice it once in a while, because I felt good about it. And then I said what I normally say, and then I just didn't stop talking, and I haven't yet. It's been a while now, and I'm still going. So, yikes. I got to try and fix that. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's part of the charm. It's part of what we do.
Yeah.
Well, okay. If you're clicking on this, you'll see it's a normal number episode. I will. This not going to be fishing and random takes, though. This is just going to be fishing, random takes, mix. This is a goals episode. This is it going in brand new 2023 episode. We're going to start putting things on wax here. We're going to get moving, but that isn't how we start the podcast. Usually we jump in with fishing news, and there's no stopping that here in 2023. Tim?
Yep.
Want to make a living catching fish? Click here.
Yeah. Click here. That's your headline?
That's my clickbait headline.
Yeah.
What it really is an article from Sport Fishing Mag.
Mm-hmm.
And it is about, have you ever heard of this thing? This is very confusing to me. Northern pike minnows. You know how, notice how I said that? Northern pike minnows.
Yes.
Northern pike is a very common word in our area of the world.
Yes.
This is northern pike minnows.
Pike minnows.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. So they're pike minnows. But
it's
from
called
the north.
Yeah, it's called a pike minnow, and in the article they specifically called it a northern pike minnow. Pike minnow is actually one word in this. So they said destructive pike minnow. This comes from, again, Sport Fishing Mag article I found. It's from, specifically in the article they said the Snake and Columbia rivers. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, your face says a lot.
It says,
what are you thinking?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Destructive
so I was
minnows.
thinking, Columbia. Okay, where was that? Columbus? No, Columbus is Ohio. Anyways, don't want to drag it on. I looked up. It's the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
So it's like Oregon and Washington.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So it's that area. And anglers this year made $1.4 million in total harvesting these things.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like that was the pool this year. So it ran from May 1st until the end of September this year of 2022. And in total, the pool ended up being worth $1.4 million.
Jeepers.
Yeah, dude. You can actually make money. And here's the crazy thing. You know what it is? It's actually them, like I said, destructive pike minnows. That's what it actually was called. Like that's the actual headline. It says destructive pike minnows in the headline.
Destructive.
So, go ahead.
And you got to catch them?
It says anglers. So I have to guess they're actually catching them, because that's why I use fishers as a term on the podcast, because we're not just about fishing with pole and line and hook and everything like that, right? Like we talk about all kinds of different stuff, trapping fish. We've done some stuff like that. We will continue in the future to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in this article and in the headline, it says anglers targeting
Anglers.
destructive
Yeah.
pike minnows. They had to have been catching them on line and hook then, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I don't think angler is a term that you use for somebody that's out there with a minnow trap,
Right.
because that's not angling.
Or like people catching crabs on Deadliest Catch. They never
Right.
call them anglers.
They don't call
ever.
those anglers because they're using traps.
Right. So I do
Weird.
think that they had to catch them like this. So here's the thing. 1.4 million in total. The top, I'll just say this range first. Okay. So the top 20 anglers out of 1,200 anglers that registered to do this,
Yep.
the top 20 of them made anywhere from 69 to 20 grand.
69,000?
$69,000 all the way down to this is just the top 20 out of the 1,200 people that were registered, but 1,200 is still not like a huge group if you think about it, right?
No, but like the top person made 69K fishing for minnows from May to September.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
That's pretty dope.
That's why I said, you want to make a living catching fish?
Yeah,
Click
let's
here.
go. What's the cost of living out there, though? Am I losing money by trying to move to Oregon?
You got a good point there, but out in the woods, everything is cheaper because you got to remember it's bonus out there and stuff, and so you can move into some. You can move yourself into some territory that isn't that desirable, but it's still kick ass.
Man, and I would assume that like 69K is the person that was just like, this is going to be my living.
You got it.
And then 20,000 is the guy that's just like, puts in his 8-hour day, and they're just like, do you want to volunteer for overtime? And he's just like, no, I'm going to go catch minnows.
Nah, I'm good. That's a lot of minnows. So now we'll get into the sort of caveats and whatever is going on here. We won't drag this on too long. We'll get into the goals, but so there are, I don't know, Tim, you'd probably have a better word for this because you have like fantasy leagues and stuff like that you're into. So you might have a better analogy for this, but there are the like DNR style. I call them DNR, right? Being from Minnesota.
Yep.
So the DNR will like tag 100, 200 of these things, let them go. And
so they must be big if they're tagging them.
Oh yeah. So I didn't even get into that. So, okay. They pay between $6 and $10 per pike minnow. And
damn,
dude, that's a 9+ inch fish.
Oh yeah. So it's like a good sized perch. And I say like a perch because it's got to be shaped like that. That's not a fat sunfish.
It's kind of a shiner kind of looking fish. Like to just be super generic about it, it's almost a shiner.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just like a narrower hydrodynamic silver fish.
Dude, that sounds so fun. Like for sure it sounds like a video game. Like I'm done with work.
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to go have fun, like grinding it out in the river, catching small fish after small fish for like,
yeah, dude, just RPG style.
Yeah. Then you get a big one. You're just like, that's a $10 fish.
Yeah. So there's these like bonus fish to keep on sort of like the grind video game. The DNR tags a few hundo of them. Not enough to make an impact, but obviously the science that they're getting out of it's worth it. So they just tag a few hundo and send them out. If you catch one of them, dude, $200 to $500 for one of those bad boys.
Dude, it's like that's like catching a shiny.
Yeah,
like it's super rare. Like
for sure.
We can call it a shiny if those of you out there like playing like Borderlands or whatever, or like Fortnite. You're getting that like legendary. You're getting that colored. What is it, like the gold? the epics, the legendary. I forget what's the highest one up.
Right.
But you're
But I
getting
get
your
where you're going.
epic. Yeah, dude, that's so cool to just be like $6 one, $10. All right, $10. All right, 6, 10, 200. Holy shit. I got a tagged one. Ah, yeah. Going to the steakhouse tonight. That sounds so dope to just know.
Yeah, dude, doesn't this sound fun?
Oh, it's so fun. That sounds so fun to be catching all these fish and to know each fish that you catch is worth $6 to $10 with a chance of catching a $200 to $500 fish. And you're not even really paying anything except for like bait. It's like the best odds gambling there is. I spent $10 on bait and I'm going to go. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
talk
pretty
about
cool.
talk about fighting somebody for a good fishing spot though. That's my fucking spot, and you know it is. Like I just see fist
I catch
fights.
pike minnows here every fucking day, and you know that. Get out of here.
Yeah. Some kid comes over and catches the tag fish right in front of you. You get this little motherfucker out of my face. Or you just like convince him, like you like you're doing the whole like shady like trading card thing, and you got like a bigger fish than his, but it's not tagged. Do you want this one? It's like it's way bigger than yours.
Just taking candy from kids, like
right. Now I'm just thinking of all the shady shit that's probably going on because of fish.
Because it's money motivated.
It's so motivated. Like people get so worked up when it's a tournament, when people are even fishing close to each other. There's clips online of like Mike Iaconelli and Kevin Van Dam
KVD,
don't get along. Yeah. So there's like clips of them doing that shit. And they're just like fishing close to each other. I could just imagine what it's like when all these people are like lining this stuff. Probably homeless guys out there. Oh man, that's what they need. Just put them to work. That's what I would do, especially like, if I live there.
You could just buy a homeless guy. Like you walk by a homeless guy in Oregon and you go, look, man, here's a fishing pole and a hook and $10.
Yeah.
Just register for this thing. Next thing you know, you could be making 70 G's a year.
Yep. Yeah. Just get out there.
Bitching.
I don't even think I'd do that. I just give him some advice. He's got a sign that says anything helps. I just go buy a fishing rod with whoever else gives you $20 because I'm not.
You roll away, just throw an old one out the back. An old one falls at the back of the truck. You're like, there it is. There's your start.
I've been to garage sales where they sell them for like $5 a pop. You can find these someplace.
I just watched that car in front of you give you 10.
Yeah, I saw him give you 10. You got your start. Now get out of here. You go on yet.
So I'll wrap it up. This is all in. It's all the money is possible from the Bonneville Power Administration, which is just the power company, like a power company in that area. Of course, dams then, because that's where these fish, rivers, dams, power, blah, blah, blah. So take that for what it is, because these pikes are fucking up the power companies.
That's what I was going to say. That's what's causing the destruction, is that they're like clogging up the dam or something. There's so many of them.
Yeah. They do.
God dang, you can really make your money then.
They do some damage.
I wonder if like you have to use a fishing rod, like if that's one of their rules, or if you could just like go out there in the dark with like a cast net, just like pull it back.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look into the behavior of the pike.
That's $1,000 right there.
Right. But like a positive on the like waterfront, to say like, oh, okay, of course the power company wants them gone because they're fucking up their shit. No, the thing though, and this is big in the Pacific Northwest, the pike minnow, this northern pike minnow, is a predator to the juvenile steelhead and salmon. And so like, it's sort of a balance game. right?
Yeah.
Like, not only are these pike minnows doing whatever they're doing to the dams and for the power company and stuff like that, but it's a big thing for the steelhead and the salmon population up there too,
Okay.
because they figure, a big harvest like this every year is saving hundreds of these, because they eat the juveniles as they try to get out to sea. So these
Oh,
pike minnows are sitting there just waiting for all the juveniles to come back down and try to get to the ocean, and they're snatching them up. So they're doing a
damn.
number on that.
So they're just like eating other fish, other small fish.
Pretty
Doesn't
interesting.
even sound like they'd be hard to catch.
Right.
Like, I didn't know if it'd be like catfish where like you're getting some stink bait and leave it laying. No, they're just eating other small fish. You just go get yourself a bucket of minnows. Wow. That's gnarly.
Maybe a trip for 2023. Go fund some of our real AF TV goals. But anyways,
Dude, we could fund our own trip. Like, we're
fund the trip and come
just
back with some production money.
Right. Go out there and just make it. Oh, man. Just be like, I'm spending a month out here. What are you doing? Fishing. And people might, oh, it must be nice to have that kind of money. No, I'm going out there to make money
To
fishing.
make money. Yeah.
I'll
tell you about it when I get back.
They're going to pay me. Yeah. That's nuts.
All right, Tim, let's jump into, housekeeping first. Okay, so thanks to everybody on YouTube, by the way. YouTube's doing good. It's good. Thank you. Thanks for everybody who's sharing over there on YouTube. We're going to do more. We're going to get into that later here, and as we get into our goals and stuff like that. Right now, we're brought to you by the Real AF TV Patreon. We have some things we got to work out with our other sponsor. But anyways, that's something we're going to talk about later. Remember, this is a podcast that drops every other week. Every other Monday, we drop a fresh, brand new podcast for you. In the off week, Wednesday, we drop the fishing topic. Friday, we drop the random take. In this case, this will probably end up a two-parter still. It just won't be as clean a cut as fishing and random takes. Go to realaf.tv/contact. Give us some feedback. I got some interesting feedback over the holiday, Tim.
Oh, yeah?
And it was like, yeah, it was something about the, I'm not recalling all of the exact details, but it was like, you guys, you talk about like brackish waters and ocean and fresh, but you're from Minnesota. And so like, why don't you focus on that? And I was like, that's not the goal. Like, I get why you being from Minnesota and seeing us from Minnesota, you would think like, why don't you just focus in on Minnesota? It's like, okay, yeah, I get the hyper focus, but I think our goal here is like when we talk about the peacock bass, Tim, we're hyped, right?
Yeah.
When we talk about tarpon, it's something you want to do. Like, that's your goal.
Sure.
So like,
yeah,
we're not trying to make another Minnesota fishing podcast. We're trying to make a learning about all kinds of fishing podcasts, right?
Yeah, we just talk, man.
Yeah. So I didn't take offense to it at all. It was just one of those situations where I was like,
those are dream fish, and we talk about other stuff. We like to stay educated, and it's like we could talk about just Minnesota, but what's the fun of that?
Yeah.
Just talk about the state we live in the whole time.
Right.
That's how I feel. Let's educate ourselves on all sorts of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Learn what the world has to offer.
For sure.
Instead of just stay tucked in our bubble.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well put. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We're on there now. Reviews help, man. It's no joke. They help bump up the algorithm.
They do.
That was housekeeping. And now we're going to get into goals, Tim. We're going to just jump right in. So, let's do a 2022 review. If you follow the podcast regularly, you'll know that we sort of already went through this. It was sort of a brief kind of mid-season, just in the fall. Okay, summer's behind us. What do we got to look forward? Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Let's get into it good. We're not going to spend an hour on this at all. But I have one funny thing to say. Right. Last year, when we did this, you said, almost right at the beginning, you said, fish and vision board. You said it in the goals episode in the fall, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've never heard that before. That was great, dude."
I did in the fall one, right?
You said it at the beginning of the year last year too.
I did?
Yeah.
Dude, because that's what I was just like. Because in the fall, I was like, I did such a poor job remembering everything. And I'm like, I need to do a vision board. So see, now I need to make a vision board to get on that vision board. Because like that just goes to show how bad my memory is with stuff. Where I'm just like, oh, I need to make a vision board to keep everything in front of me. And I don't even remember saying it. What, like 8 months earlier, I said the exact same thing. That's interesting to hear. Where it's just like, wow, I cannot believe that I'm so well.
I know.
Proof that my memory sucks shit. It'd be funny too if somebody's like binging the podcast and they're just like,
why did Josh react like that? Well, that little behind the scenes thing is like, this is good. This is all great conversation. I'm in the moment. I am listening. I'm also taking notes and stuff like that. But once the lights go off and, the mics once the lights go down, the mics turn off, I'm thinking about post-production immediately. And how I'm going to schedule that into my day-to-day and get this thing cut up, posted, all that stuff. Yeah. So, I don't have time to sit and marinate on it, which I hope the listeners are. And that's also why I got realef.tv/contact. Remember, Real Life Fish and Reel, talk to us about that stuff.
Right.
Because it's funny. It's funny.
And I don't sit around and marinate it on either. Like when we're done, I shut it down and then I go most of the time, just go to bed.
Right.
So it depends on which day we're doing the podcast on, because we don't record on a super consistent basis on the same day.
Right.
So a lot of times I'm not marinating on that either. I'll just go to bed. And I suppose that's a lot of the part. Or half of the time too. Like you see me down here, like having pulls out of whatever bottle or beer or whatever, and you're just talking. And then like the next day, it's just like, I just don't wake up in the morning focused on work and getting that stuff done and doing whatever. So I think I need to like, maybe that's a good goal for the next year, is to get a notepad in front of me and actually make notes of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it, so I can look back on that and just be like, what did I say last time? Vision board. Instead of just being like 8 months later, I say the same thing, and then you get to point out like, hey, I said vision board twice.
Well, I still reacted both times like I had never heard it before, so it was a surprise to me too. So, but anyways, I really like in my head, I'm like, we really should, but we also do post these on realaf.tv. It's right there at the top of the website. Like if you go over there and you look for anybody, this is why I'm putting it out there again. Is like, keep us in check. It's right there on the website. Tim, we're going to go into 2022 review with, you already got this stuff done. Ice fishing for walleye specifically. Bam, we checked it off the list. Ice camera. Bam, you were able to check that one off the list.
Got it.
Why are ice fishers where they are? They seem to be fishing where I would never fish in the summertime.
Yes.
You got that pretty well figured out.
Learned a lot about it. Yes. I wouldn't say I have it figured out, but I'm on the right path.
Okay. Good deal.
Yes.
More fishing with cameras. Didn't happen really this year. You got a new camera, did some testing. Am I wrong to say that one didn't really happen?
No, you're not wrong. I went out with it like twice, I think.
Yeah.
But it didn't really happen. It was like things just didn't work out while I was out there. It's not like we go out there and then I don't catch anything or whatever. It was just like I went out there like with my nephew and I didn't really have any like focus, and it was like we caught some fish, but I'm like, this isn't really an episode. I didn't really have any direction here.
It had no direction.
This isn't something we can't like. We're not trying to put out content that is just like,
I caught this on my webcam.
Yeah, or it's just like a date, like fishing the weekend of this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, that's all it is. Like, no, we're trying to come up with episodes here, and it just didn't go according to plan. I had a game plan, and for the one that I really got out there and we had a chance, and then the like skies changed and I was like, oh, maybe this could be like on transitioning or whatever. And then like that didn't really work out either because I focused the majority of the time like trying to get my nephew like in the water, like switching up his gear and stuff. So
Right. Yep.
the majority
Yeah.
of the recording was me like re-rigging all his shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You had some family things that just got in the way. Like even that, fishing with your nephew, just like, yeah, look back at the footage now. Okay. Hey, it
Right.
happens. So we talked about breaking the state dogfish record. We did talk about in the goals one. You were just like, dude, that's in my lake. That's in my lake. I can get to it. Are you still that confident? We'll move into 2023, but I just want to know, like, are you still confident that fish lives in your regular
I'm
lake?
still confident that there is a fish that large in my lake.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think that maybe I should revamp that goal to just catching a dogfish because I haven't done that. So it's like that's where like the unrealistic expectations kind of came in. It's like just because I've seen one doesn't mean I can go and catch it. I still haven't figured out exactly what they want to eat because I've been fishing these same areas many times and I've never caught one on accident. And I think I told the story once where I had the sunfish ate by the dogfish that was on the leader already.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, clearly it eats other fish. So we kind of know what it's looking for. I thought like I could go out there with like a big minnow or something and kind of fish in that area. But just like when I go to try to fish for like walleye, I'm catching a lot of pike. When I go to fish for bass, I'm catching a lot of pike. So that's why I was like, maybe I should just focus on trying to catch a dogfish because I might be trying to catch a dogfish and then catch a bunch of pike. So
yeah, dude.
So I was like, maybe like revamp it to catch a dogfish and I can fish in the same spots that I saw these big ones.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it is that big one that goes ahead and bites on.
Right.
But just set the goal to be catch a dogfish.
Yeah.
Because
like putting a realistic, because I remember putting it on there and, going.
Yeah.
You're like, far-fetched. Let's do it. Let's just put a long shot on there.
Yeah, right.
But, like I already put it down on the 2023 goals, which we'll get into. I just moved it already. I just put down catch a dogfish. Like
yeah, because breaking the state record is awesome, and I think there's a real chance. But I was like, maybe baby steps.
Maybe the better method is just one at a time. Huh?
It'd be pretty cool to break the state record and just be like, that's the first dogfish I've ever caught in this lake. Because I've seen plenty of them. I've just never really like targeted them.
Yeah.
And I have caught them on other lakes. So it won't be the first one I've ever caught.
But just the first one you've caught on your main
your
main hangout.
Yep. And then you have everybody. I remember when I was way younger, like we would see them all the time and they'd be real big. And then the same thing with the muskies. Everybody would be like, don't go by them. They're mean. They'll bite you. They'll bite you. And then it's just like, I've never accidentally caught one of these. They don't just attack anything that goes past them.
Right.
These bullshit. Like, I don't know where anybody gets these ideas of they bite everybody. They bite everything. Like muskies and dogfish. Everybody's just like, they're going to bite everything. And like, no, they won't. I've tried to fish for both quite a bit. And they're not that easy to catch. They're not just out there biting everything that goes past them.
Right. Yeah. So, it's a total myth.
Yeah. And I should revise. I did say I fished for both. I have fished near dogfish a lot. I don't think I've ever specifically targeted them.
Right. Yeah. Because you were talking about how
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out what they
I just
eat
wanted to
and stuff.
clarify that because I just realized I was like, oh, I've never really targeted them before. And then 2 seconds later, I say, I fish for them a lot. And I was like, well, that wasn't true. I better clarify that real quick so I don't sound like an
Right.
idiot.
You just ended up lumping them in with muskies on accident in
Yes,
the story.
exactly.
I understand.
So,
More fall fishing, Tim. You had that on your list. Did you get out fishing this fall? I got out a couple times, but like I don't have anything to show for it.
no, I didn't. Because even like we were like, oh, there's still time to go fall fishing.
Right.
And then just like everything is
Fall
just
just
like
slid away.
dude, it happened fast. And it was like a whirlwind of everything. Because I remember I still had plans of how I needed to like finish the yard. Like I got all the leaves together
Yeah.
and like took most of those away, and then more leaves fell. And I was like, I'll get to that next weekend.
Yep.
And then it snowed,
When it
and
snowed.
we haven't seen the grass since then. So like it's been ground covered.
We have piles of leaves in this. Like I'm shoveling out the spot for the dog, and I'm getting leaves off the lawn.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep. That's how it works in Minnesota. You get that snowfall and it doesn't warm up to melt it, and then it just keeps dumping on us and we just keep getting hit. Now like for sure we're not seeing it's going to be spring for sure because everybody's got
spring now.
Yeah. Everybody's got feet of snow now. Certain spots of your yard might have been blown clear because we had some high winds too, where it's like only 3 or 4 inches, but you still got 3 or 4 inches of snow.
Right. For sure. The last one, Tim, this one's got to go on the fishing vision board. Catch something on the Cayuga Luger.
I like that too, though. The Cayuga Luger.
I want a gun shaped like Cayuga now.
I'm saving that for sure. That was a happy accident right there. Just in the Minnesota accent. From now on, I will not be able to say it just like, all right, muskies, show me what you got. Come on and bite on the Cayuga Luger.
That's good.
But that for sure. Good. I got to get out there and just give it 1-4, not 1-4, give it a bunch. I will be fishing with that Cayuga lure and the Pikachu lure. And that is just something I have to keep front of mind. That one is not a hard goal to accomplish. I just have to go out there and use it. Yeah. And even use the lure because I kept forgetting about it. Even though I would travel with it.
Oh, you did have it on you.
Dude, not just had it on me. I would move it from vehicle to vehicle knowing like I need to bring this with because I need to go out with it.
Right.
And then I would just forget. Like I'd go grab all my stuff and it'd like sit in the back of the truck. And that's because I'm like going through my checklist. Rods, reel, like everything in the tackle box. I got everything I need.
Yeah.
And that lure was never in a box. If it was in a box, maybe that's what I got to do. It looks so cool in its box that I never take it out of the box. It travels in the box everywhere. So.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I think I just need to take it out of the box and put it in one of my bags. And then there you go. But I don't think
if you're wondering what it is, if you're a listener, watcher, or whatever, and you didn't find we unboxed the Pokemon lures, the YouTube channel. Just go check it out. You'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Tim, I think that one's got to go on the vision board now.
For sure.
We won't drag on it because let's talk about revamping that one maybe for 2023. I'm going to go into mine and I'm just going to knock them out real quick here. Okay. All right. Walleye fishing for eaters with my new gear. Pikes. Go fishing for pike. Pickled pike bites was my specific goal on there.
Oh, yeah.
Catfish fry. Okay. I did none of those things. Fuck. Because it's already the new year. We had talked about it in the last goal episode, like, hey, there might be time to get on the ice before we set our new goals. No, the snow kind of screwed it up. Like, yes, it was cold, but then we also got a bunch of snow and like winds and rains and stuff like that. Holidays, it gets, so I didn't get around to it. I did get out fishing for pike in the fall. Maybe I can post some stuff. I've already posted some stuff about it. No bites. Like I tried. I'm cute. Like there it is. Like, okay. Didn't get around to any of them. 3,
Yeah.
to me, again, achievable goals. I'll just say it right now. Second half, when we get into our 2023 goals, they're all there. Little tweaks, little changes.
Sure.
They're all there.
Yep.
We had some real AF TV goals on there.
Yeah.
Tim's home studio, more than podcasting. Spotify video. Launch YouTube fishing videos. Launch YouTube fishing video. Bam. We did it. We did it.
Done.
We've been also like we said specifically fishing videos because of that
Yeah.
podcast, because the podcast had already been on video too. So we said, okay, we got one. We only got one out there, but like again, different further discussion. Spotify video.
Right. Yep.
I will tell you this. I know how to do it.
Oh. Okay.
I just didn't take us there this year.
All right.
Maybe on the podcast we talk about it. Maybe off the podcast we
That's
talk
crazy.
about it. It requires different software. Is it
Oh,
now?
okay.
It's not expensive or anything like that. It's time consuming. Time is the one thing that we are short on, being dads
Sure.
and
Yes.
full-time and having full-time jobs, right?
Yes.
So
For sure.
partially achieved that. I could have made it happen, and I chose not to for a larger discussion later.
Makes sense.
And then your home studio, podcasting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never came up to help you, so I
dude,
feel like
don't
I
worry about it.
should be up there, and it's like, hey Tab, let's go up and let's take a day, let's go do some shit and make the studio happen.
Yeah. No, it's all good, man. Like, biggest part to getting it, like, I haven't moved everything around yet because I need to get carpet down here. I don't
Right.
have new carpet yet. I have like
Gotcha.
half old carpet, half has been ripped up
Yeah.
because
Okay.
the carpet was damaged and stuff. So that new carpet, the game plan is I have measured everything out,
Mhm.
and like, we have the funds now, so everything's about to happen. We've just kind
Nice.
of been like waiting to see if something goes on sale. That's
Yeah.
just how we roll. Like, we're
Oh
never
no, it's the right move.
we're
Like
never
if you don't
really
need
the
it,
full
right?
price.
Just wait for
Yeah.
that New Year's sale to pop up.
Exactly, where it's just like, oh, it's the perfect time for your home renovations. New year, new you, new house, new carpet, that
Right,
kind of shit.
right.
So you're like, all right, yeah. So that's what we've been waiting for, where like it's ready to roll. Like, I'm
Kick-ass.
ready to do it. And there's been other projects that pop up because
Oh
it's
yeah, of
just,
course. It's a house.
dude, ugh.
But I have
houses.
parts too. I have parts to finish parts of the studio. I still have them. So it would
Okay.
be like good to bring those up, and because it's part of, well, we'll get into the
Sure.
video part of it.
Yeah.
But
And
other
like
than the
you-
home
like
studio,
you
which is
said,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, just houses in general.
Right.
Like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do the home studio, and then you got to go fix something else. Like, oh, dude,
Right. Your
this-
Saturday just changed from the studio to fixing the sump pump.
Yeah, and this past couple of weeks, with Christmas and everything, there like wasn't the Saturdays. You got to get everything done during the week.
Right.
And last week, my wife, like, I'll just tell you real quick, my wife goes to clean the shower a little bit, and like this ring comes off around like where the drain is.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, that's all supposed to be one piece. It was corroded enough that thing just came apart. So we're like, whatever.
Yep.
We'll just shower this morning and I'll try to figure it out later.
Yep.
So we shower, and like I go down to the laundry room to grab some clothes like afterwards, and it's like leaking into the basement. And I'm just like, okay, so that has to be fixed or whatever. That night I go in, I try to
Right.
take that
Yep.
drain piece out. It's so corroded I can't screw it out. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to replace that whole pipe. I'm not a plumber. I guess I'll figure that out tomorrow. But we'll just use the downstairs shower, even though like that's got its own issues, but we can get away with it to tomorrow morning. We'll use
Right.
that. And then we go to
Right.
use that, and it's like negative like 11 below outside with like 35
Air
below
temperature.
wind chills.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
and the fucking hot water pipe froze down here. So
Right.
then I couldn't use that shower, and I'm like, so I guess we just like wash our hair in the sink, and I try to figure it out tomorrow. And then I become a plumber, and I have to like replace all the pipes and everything, and like And all
Yep.
this stuff is like, it's that kind of shit where you're just like, I need to get carpet done. And then you're just like, oh, but also like, you have
There's
to
two things
do
that just took priority over it,
two
and
things
that's
that just
insulating the
popped
pipe.
up. Two things that just popped up if you want to take a shower. You're like, oh, well, yeah, that's kind of important. I guess you wait.
Right.
Carpet.
Fucking
And
houses.
that's what being a homeowner is all about. And it's that
Right.
kind of stuff
Yep.
that seems to happen all the time with everything.
Right.
Not trying to make excuses, but it's just like,
No.
man, every time you get a chance to do something, there's something else popping up, and just
Yeah, that's the way it feels for sure.
Yep.
I get you. Yeah.
So now with your failures and everything, you do what you can and you keep pushing on. And now,
Yep.
at least this time, it's 2023 is now when this comes out. So you just, 2023 is just gonna happen, and then
It's gonna happen. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna get a vision board.
I'm gonna get a vision board, and it's gonna have carpet on it. And then when I get the carpet in, I'm gonna take a shotgun and I'm gonna shoot that part of the vision board. I'm gonna say, "You're done, bitch." Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty great. That's pretty great. Okay. Here we are, patreon.com/realaftv. That's right, patreon.com/realaftv. Real like fish and reel. We are on Patreon, and we are coming to tell you, and by we, I mean me and Tim, Real AFTV podcast here, coming to you to say we have a Patreon as low as $1 a month, but hey, you could go up to $100 if you really wanted to get crazy with it. It's there. Go over to our website, realaf.tv. You can find the Patreon link right there, or go to Patreon and look us up, Real AFTV, Real Like Fish and Reel. And we have things like, for $50 a month, we will customize, what kind of tackle is it, Tim? We have some in the warehouse right now that we haven't actually ran out.
A lure. Yes.
Lure, thank you.
Is a crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yes, we will customize a crankbait for you.
At
yes,
the $50 tier. Also, Patreon, if you're new to the whole Patreon thing, if you're on a podcast, you're probably not that new to it. But Patreon is something that you can jump in and out of. Like if you do $50 this month, bam, you get the custom lure. But you don't want to do that for the whole year. You jump down to the $5 a month tier, where you're going to get early access content. You can help vote on the random take, one of the random takes for the month. And, we'll keep up with you on Patreon as well. Like just a direct Patreon contact. There's communication you do only through Patreon. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're new, there's just a little intro to it.
Yeah. And to clarify, that custom painted lure is a fully custom painted lure, like the pattern and everything. That won't be just something that we have a lure that we just like write Real AFTV out.
Yes, thank you, Tim. Thank you for clearing that up, because yes, it's a slug, for lack of a better word, right now, and it will be turned into something.
Right.
I'm not good at the whole fishing lingo, so maybe Tim, you could evaluate on that a little, or like elaborate on that.
I mean, right now it has no color, and I will give it color.
There we go.
It will look like a bait fish imitation of some sort. It might not be exactly colored. It might not be realistic. Some of that stuff out there that the different companies work with makes different stuff, but it will be a custom painted lure, and it won't look like dog shit. Because not to be too full of myself, but I have some talent.
You have some artistic talent. Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. And before we wrap up the ad here for patreon.com/realaftv, we do have a goal too. We're goals right now. We only have one goal set, but there is, if we get up to 10 patrons this year, or this month even, which would be great, so share with a friend, we will do a live stream AMA while fishing. We are capable of live streaming fishing. We've done it before.
Yes.
Check out the YouTube channel. And we'll just do an AMA. We'll schedule it. We'll do all the communications through Patreon, and we'll go live with a AMA of undetermined length at this point. While fishing. So if you can get us up to 10 patrons, if you know friends and family and stuff like that got a few bucks to kick our way, let them know. RealAF.tv. Scroll down a little bit. There's the Patreon link. It'll shoot you right over. Sign up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's jump into some new stuff, huh? What do you think? You ready?
Let's do it. Yep.
Okay.
Ready.
You want to go first? You want me to?
What are we talking about? The fishing?
Let's do fishing goals. Let's stay off of the Real AF TV stuff here, and we'll tuck those in at the end. As far as like Real AF TV production and larger stuff like that.
Yes.
Let's get at those fishing goals.
So, I really only wrote down one thing. Well, I had two things. One of them was to I literally wrote down maybe revise to catch a dogfish, maybe revise to catch a dogfish, then go for state record. So,
right.
maybe let's get our priorities in order here.
Okay.
So
I wrote that down.
But then the other one I wrote that obviously we got all our other stuff, so I'm not talking about the ice fishing, but as far as new goals go. But a new goal is, so we've shared that I got the electronics. I want to make sure everything is set up. I didn't even get a chance to get on the open water to give that a shot. I got that all excited, I'm going to be able to fish in the fall. I never got a chance to go out. Mm-hmm. So I want to have all that ready to go before we hit the open water season. And then as soon as we hit open water, I want to get out as soon as possible, and I want to fish pre-spawn crappies. I want to try to learn.
Oh,
I have a good idea of where crappies are in the wintertime, and I know where they spawn, and I want to find them in between. I want to find them pre-spawn before they are
I'm gonna put that in all caps early.
Yeah, early, because they'll move from their winter spots to their staging area. They should move relatively close to where they're going to spawn, but just deeper waters off of that. So it should be pretty close to where they are in the winter. But I want to find those schools. My electronics I don't have the forward facing imaging and stuff, so I don't have the top of the line. But I have the top of the line if we go back 10 years,
Yeah. So let me ask, because you went from ice into pre-spawn and stuff like that. So I got to ask a question that I don't know. And I'm just curious about the way that I heard the story is, are you going to go out pre-spawn, as soon as ice open, or as soon as ice breaks, however you want to put it? If that's when you're going to hit the water, are you going to be using a combo of your ice electronics and your open water electronics, or your open water's just got it all? I don't even know if you could use them both.
Just the open water, because the flasher is just kind of showing you what's directly below you, and I could use a flasher, but when I have a full graph set up, the flasher is pointless, and they can interfere with each other. And on a bigger boat, it can make sense where the transducers are spaced out a little bit. But my boat, everything's so close to each other. I don't.
Yeah, you have a one-person boat. There's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I might have two graphs on there already, because I have my old one hooked up, and that transducer is on the trolling motor. I might just put the other transducer in the back and literally have two graphs right next to each other.
Oh.
Or I might have the other graph there and get rid of the transducer and not have that on there, and just use the first graph as the GPS. So I have a 5-inch GPS, so I know where I'm at. And then the big screen is for the side imaging, and whatever I end up configuring. Yeah, because you can split screen it 3 ways, so there's a bunch of different options.
Sick, dude.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So it's the goal is get out early like pre-spawn crappie. Like that's what I have written down. But
Yes.
in the end, this is like tweak the electronics, because that's
Basically,
how you
yes.
started it too, right? I mean, if
Yes.
this is like get
Yeah.
out and experiment, learn
Yep.
the electronics and just see what you can do with those.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like
I
a
want to.
byproduct sort of.
Right. Yep. I want to learn about that. I want to know. I have a pretty good idea of where the crappie should be, and
Sure.
I'll know where the walleye are. I can't fish for them yet.
Right.
But that's another thing. I want to like physically see some walleyes, because they're in the shallows. It'd be cool to just get some eyes on them to be like, all right, I
Right.
know where you're at now, and
Right.
then when it comes time to be able to fish you, then I can just try to like figure out like, okay, where did they move? Are they still here? And if
Right.
not, where did you move? Because it's not far, probably.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like maybe you can just like start with the assumption of, okay, they're just off that ledge that's 100 yards out. Like, bet you,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yeah, and it's the same.
Sick.
It's the same, but like opposite for the crappies, because when it hits spawn time
Uh-huh.
that they're gonna move up into like the protected bays. So you're basically just figuring out like, okay, where are they holding in deeper water off of
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing in the winter, even like they seem to be pretty close to where they would spawn, but like the deepest spot of the lake off of that, basically.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, and there's obviously we say it all the time. There's exceptions to every rules. That's not where you're going to find every single one of them. That's not there's no cut and dry. If there was, fishing would be a lot easier, and there wouldn't be all these electronics and everything to figure everything out.
Right. But it's a damn good place to start.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. You need a good spot to start.
Yeah.
I think too many people overlook that, like not trying to get all philosophical and stuff, but too, when you hear somebody talking about a lure, or I've even thought about this where like I've thought about, putting out the little quick shorts on Instagram or whatever to be like, this is the lure I'm using today. And it's not saying that this lure is going to catch every fish in the lake on this day. It's like, this is my starting point.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, I will be confused and I have to figure that out. But a lot of times on a certain day where you have the weather and everything lines up, you're just like, I've had tremendous success on this exact day in this exact setting with this lure. This is what I would use. And if it doesn't work, then you got to go, what the hell?
Right.
That happens too, where you go, what is different today versus that other day? It was the exact same thing. It was overcast.
Right.
I was using a topwater bait. Like this, there was a storm, like, 2 days ago, and nothing since. Like it's that kind of thing where you're like, everything seems to be exactly the same, and I can't get anything to bite on this. I do not understand what's going on right now.
Right. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
So it's all a puzzle. It's all figuring out patterns and stuff.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you have those patterns that pop up, and that's your starting point. So it's I just went off on this rant because you worded it perfectly. That is your starting point.
Yeah. No, and you're even hitting on a bunch of stuff that we always talk about on Real AF TV. It's like I've talked about earlier on, in the earlier podcasts, I should say.
Yeah.
Where it's just like I want to embrace the word fail more, because like people have made fail into such like a shitty thing, or like a thing that like, oh, you can't fail, you can't fuck up. Like that's just not a thing because the internet's so perfect, right? So like it's really funny to fail videos or whatever. I watch them; they're funny. But like it's almost like troubleshooting is really what you're doing. It's like you're going out, you're fishing, and yes, you're failing by not catching fish. Let's embrace the word, like let's kind of change fail. But like you didn't fuck up, you learned something. You are taking that now and you're dissecting it and you're troubleshooting it and you're trying to rethink what just happened and rework what's happening in real time, even sometimes, right? Where you say, I got this lure, all these conditions, it seems to work. Bam, it's not working. Okay, now what? And continue to fish for another 3-4 hours or whatever it might be, trying to figure that out. Like,
I totally agree with the whole like to change the definition, and maybe not necessarily even change the definition, but use it in a different context. When
There
you
you
go out
go.
to fish and
Yeah,
you don't
dude.
catch fish, you're not failing as a whole.
Right.
You just, what your initial thought didn't work.
Yeah.
So, and then you try to switch it up.
Yeah.
And then if you go the whole day and you get skunked, well, then you failed to solve the riddle.
Right.
But you
There
didn't
you go.
fail. You
Yeah.
learned. You learned
Yeah.
all the different ways that didn't work. And then you can try to learn next time. Like, okay, none of this stuff seemed to work.
Right.
And then try to tweak it next time.
Yeah.
Or do the exact same thing you did last time. And then try to understand why it worked that time.
And it
And didn't work last time.
Right.
It's all that kind of, you know, it's just this game. It's all trying to figure out why and when and where and how, and the weather, and everything has a role.
Right.
So that's why it's such a joke when you see some of that like infomercial stuff where they're just like, it catches fish constantly, and it's just
Right.
like,
Right. You're like,
everything catches fish if you wait long enough.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. Okay. So you had down that early pre-spawn crappie. We had sort of talked about get better on the ice. Is that a goal? Is that we had pre-podcast, we had kind of had a little discussion.
Yeah,
Is that,
getting better on the ice is definitely a goal. Like I want to have more confidence. Not to like, I really want to get to a point where like if I drove to a lake and I looked at a map, like the moment I got there,
you would have a spot
because
pinpointed.
I can do that. I can do that in the
mean?
summer. Yeah, I can do that in the summer. Basically, like I still do my research and stuff. But if I went to a lake just randomly, I'd still have a starting point where I'm like, I'm going to try here. Like I could still do that in the winter, but I don't feel nearly as confident. And I think there's like some anxiety to that where you're drilling a hole, and like I don't have a snowmobile and a setup to like run and gun like some guys are doing where they drive and they drill a hole and they try. Like I'm basically like setting up and hoping for the best. So I'm like,
right.
There's an anxiety level of like when you drill a hole and you're not marking anything right away, you're like,
right,
am I even close? You know, just
for sure.
Because sometimes,
and also if your spot isn't sort of pre-populated in a way, right? Like if you don't, if you're just like out on the west side of the lake, everybody's over on the east side. It's like, oh shit, what do they know that I don't? Sort of like that. Like sort of peer pressure anxiety almost in a way.
It's some of that, and then there is a lot of other literature and like tips and stuff of people saying like get away from the crowd. Like you can do away for the crowd, but then you're just like, you know, that's almost the same thing where it's like, should I be over here? You know,
right.
Some of that stuff makes me nervous too. When, you know, you drive in your truck out there and you're like, is there a reason nobody else is driving over here?
Right.
It's that kind of stuff where it's like, I don't know.
I'm just going to put down, be more confident.
Yes, I just, whatever it might take, because I don't have an answer on how to build my confidence, but I want to build my confidence. So that's a goal, is to just build some confidence. I think it would help a lot if I had a snowmobile, but that's not a goal. Like if I had a snowmobile to drive on, I'd be far less worried about driving certain spots. Because, I mean, it's not
because
like
of the less weight and the, like, just because it weighs less and it's open. So if you go in, you can jump off. And
if it goes through, I'm losing like 5K instead of, you know, 25K or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever it takes to get back everything that the truck is plus everything else.
Right.
So yeah, I was trying to be like humble, like 25. It's 25. I'm not. It's not 50. It's definitely not 50. I don't know. It depends on.
I know what you mean, but like
when you're doing the math, if it was
a new pickup of your caliber is of the 50-ish
stupid expensive,
or
dude.
More.
Holy shit! You seen trucks these days? It's gnarly.
It's
I used
crazy,
to
dude.
I used to look at cars when you're driving down the road, not to go off on another tangent, but
No,
you
do
see
it.
these like
Yep.
sports cars and stuff when you're a kid, and you're just like, that's like an $80,000, $90,000 car. Like there's $100,000 car,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
see an Escalade drive down the road, you don't blink twice at it, and that
Nope.
Escalade costs 110 grand.
Yep.
It's like what
Yep.
the fuck?
You're just
Like
like,
now
what?
you learn that, and you're
What?
just like, really? That big SUV that I thought nothing of
Right.
is more expensive than these sports cars. I'm all like, hoo.
Right. Like,
But I think
damn, look at that 85
maybe
grand car.
right, maybe you don't get too impressed by it because that's like a two-door and it's just for fun. Most of the time that's not their only car. But I think that's
Right.
sometimes how people get away with having that is
Right.
because they're single or they just have it's them and their spouse and that's it.
Right.
So that's why they can afford that because this is the only car we need.
Yeah.
Because all I need is me, her, and the space for my golf bag.
Yep, exactly.
But it's just, yeah, sorry to go off on a tangent, but
Oh, it's
life
okay.
is like when you
I
start
got
thinking
it.
about it, it's like, dude, that's gnarly.
It's
I
weird.
always thought that the sports cars were the big ticket item, and that's
Right.
what it is. And now you see like a dually like F-350,
Yep.
like brand new, and you're just like, that's like $150,000 truck.
Yeah. You're like, damn, there goes a house. Nice.
I do that all the time when you see somebody pulling like a nice big boat or like a nice fish house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're just like, that truck
Second
and fish
mortgage.
house are worth more than my house.
Yep.
Or that truck and boat are worth more than my house easily. Just like
Sweet
that.
second mortgage rolling down the road.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
sorry.
Let's get back on topic. Tim, what did you have anything else down? Because you said you had one thing, and it was a big thing. Because I just wrote down fish early pre-spawn crappies, but like when we review this is all like tweak electronics and stuff, and like we're gonna really see. So like you have
Yes.
multiple layers to that,
Yeah.
where you can. I think you can accomplish that goal at like a 40, 30, 60, 80, 90% even, right?
Yeah, because I think the real goal is like be prepared and get out there early.
Right. Right.
I think
But it's
that's what it really
specifically for
boils
crab.
down
Like
to.
put
But
the
it's,
fish on
it's
it, right?
specifically, yeah, because I mean that's the only fish we can catch.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go like panfish is what is open season
Is
when
what's
the ice
just
is out.
open. Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't go for walleye, we can't go for bass, can't go
Right.
for pike. Like nothing else is on the table. So it's
Right.
like crappie is the
Yeah, because you still want to
ticket.
be fishing. You just don't want to be out there just working on your electronics. Like you still want to put something in the boat. Like you want to
'cause
prove
just
that what you're
yeah,
doing is working
right.
by getting
And
fish.
I'm not well versed enough. I've never had side imaging before, so that's brand new. So I want to also kind of confirm that what I'm looking at is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And I think I can kind of spot these school of crappie, hopefully.
Right.
And then be able to just be like, that should be crappie right there. Cast into him, catch one,
Confirm it.
confirmed.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
So I'm going to jump back up to 2022 stuff and be ready for a stretch of time, cameras, walleye season. How you feeling? Like, do you want to move anything from the 2022 down into the 2023? Now we did the dogfish one, right? You
Yeah.
took it down a peg. It was ambitious last year on purpose though, for
Right.
fun. So like you have more fishing with cameras, and then you have a good stretch of time with cameras and walleye season. So kind of the same.
Yeah, and I think
Ish.
that carries over, yeah. Because I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Okay.
I have multiple cameras. I have extra battery packs. The logistics I nailed down on how to be able to record for a long stretch of time without having to dick with anything.
Nice.
And then I just never got to
Nice.
put it all together. So
Right.
it's all there. It's all ready to go.
Yeah.
I just need to figure out how to make it happen.
Do
How
you
to
think
get out there.
walleyes are specifically a target again on that? Or are you just like, no, man, I just want to put fishing
Well, I've been able to,
like, I just want to put it in the can.
I've been able to get out there with other fish.
Yeah.
So I think walleye is definitely a goal. But I think a more broader goal, yeah, I think we could just say like more time with everything, but I think it's almost like a subcategory. Like, I think it's almost like,
Yeah.
I think even if the episodes don't get fully produced,
Yep.
I want to shoot multiple episodes.
I'm
I
just,
want
yeah,
to
you know
have
what? I
everything
get
in
what
the
you're
bag.
saying. I'm just going to say, put fishing footage in the can. That's what I'm going to
There
say.
you go. I like it. Yes.
Because
Because
there's
the
a lot of
walleye,
things in the can that just don't go anywhere. And I know the second part is on me for sure. Like, and not just on me, right? Because I edit and we go back and forth. We have this creative process of like, hey, you look at it, you give me feedback, I edit it, we do things like
yeah.
that.
Yep.
But just put fishing footage in the can
Yep.
is just, that means get it on a hard drive. That's what it means if you don't understand old school tech
Right.
like
Right.
terms.
Right. Put it on wax.
Yep. So yeah, I just kind of combine those. Like, I get what you mean by that's a subcategory, but I love the idea of just like getting more in the can, and then when we revisit in the fall or when we revisit next year and stuff like that, we're either going to have video to prove it, or you're going to be able to say, I got 8 gigs, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. Because I mean, that's the other thing. I have an external hard drive.
Right.
Like I
That's right.
have,
Got that.
I went and I have everything ready to get footage, and I have place to keep it all and stuff. I just need to get out there and make it happen now. And I was
Nice.
like,
Mhm.
I just need to hope for like less wind, but I almost wanted to put that as a goal too.
Less
Like
wind.
just like to just
Get
like
a less windy
not,
summer? Is that
not
what you
even
want?
not even just be like less windy summer, to just be like, just get out there, pussy. You know, like what's the win? But like the other part is too, like as far as production goes, you know,
Yeah.
like super windy days, it's hard to get good audio, and that
Right.
just sucks. You know,
Yeah.
nobody
Which
wants to
we've also
watch.
said multiple times on the podcast. It's like
Yeah,
part of, we're not trying to do that. Like that.
right.
Oh God damn it. That's annoying. I hate
When
that.
you're watching them and they're like, there's like text on the bottom of the screen that's just like, sorry about all the wind. As I go fucking slap the mic arm.
As you slap the mic.
It's so annoying.
You couldn't
to
hear
have,
it, but I know it was very
right,
funny. Like
right.
in a moment of
So annoying to have background noises. Oh,
but the
man.
thing is it's super annoying whether you have like on headphones, it's really bad. And even
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
just holding your phone and it's just like just out of those tiny little phone speakers,
Exactly.
or you're listening to it on even like a decent computer, like most of the YouTube I watch, I'm on a decent computer sound system because I'm an editor, right?
Yeah.
It's still is too much, even though the
Yeah.
bass part of it is coming out of the sub and the higher
Right.
are coming out of it, especially when it's not a good mic, when it's, well, not to shit on
Yeah.
GoPro, but like those action cam mics, they just don't have the range really, and those high tones seem to come out more, and that's just ear piercing.
Yeah. And
Anyways,
if you have
let's
to
not
have,
get into that too far.
you have to
I
have
put
like one of those muffs to stop. But I got to tell you too, like,
Yep.
I just had this happen the other day. Another thing that like gets super annoying is like, because I redid the plumbing. You know, I went
Right.
up there with a hacksaw, cut it off, and like replaced all the pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
But to learn that stuff, I don't know. I watch YouTube videos. I'm
Yeah.
pretty good at taking directions, so I watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And this guy was filming as he was doing somebody's house, like talking to the woman that he's working on their house. So he's actually like
Oh no.
at somebody's house, and he's like kind of talking to her and then like kind of talking quiet, because I don't know if he's trying to keep it a secret that he's filming
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And then without warning, he takes like the sawzall, like the reciprocating saw.
Oh,
That
no.
looks weird. But that he takes
That's
that, so he's
visual.
just kind of like, I know you want to do this, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and
Right.
it's like,
Starts
oh my god,
cutting into it.
I literally turned it up because I could barely hear you, and then you hit me with that saw. Are you
Right.
shitting me right now?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, we're not trying to give you that kind of garbage ass quality. That
Right. Yeah, let's keep the
if you
levels
need
level here.
exactly. So yeah, sorry again, another little bit of rant there, but it just happened to me, and that's a big part of why I don't want to fish in the wind is because we just don't want to dick around with trying to
Figure that out even.
yeah, trying to figure that out, trying to doctor it up to make it work. It's like I think we
Mhm.
just need to try to go out in more ideal conditions, and with having a full-time job, you're not given that many opportunities, so it really sucks when
It can be tough. Yeah.
when the shitty days line up with the days off.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'll let you know without giving. We don't have to say what it is on this, but that camera that you got,
yeah,
that new camera that you got, that I think it was last year now. But anyways, that new
yeah,
camera that you got,
yeah,
I got ideas where it can make for multiple things to happen if you just use the one camera even. So it's not a big deal, but post is a big deal with that. I'll
okay,
just say that.
okay,
Post is a big deal with that one. Like we can do a lot of cool things with post in that one.
right, yes,
Okay.
I'm aware of what you were talking about.
Yeah. I don't want to say it yet because I don't know if we can produce it as well as I hope. Like if I have to get a new
Sure.
graphics card, we might have to push that camera. Anyways.
Ooh, I get you. Yeah, I didn't even think about the producing end of it. So.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy duty.
Okay.
So I put down the Kyuger lure on there again. Just
Yep.
straight up catch a fish with it. So Tim,
Yep.
early fish, early pre-spawn crappies, electronics, like we'll come back to that. Build confidence on hard water, catch a dogfish, put fishing footage in the can, catch a fish on that Pokemon lure, on the Pokemon lures, but I put specifically the Kyuger because that's the one.
Yeah, because the bigger one is the one that's going to be harder to make it happen.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
You got anything else you want to add to that?
Mm.
Was there anything else that you needed that you felt that you wanted to put on there right now? Put on wax right now at this time?
No. I mean,
nothing you can think of.
I think of early, like I haven't been out ice fishing yet. Mm-hmm. And as long as
it's pretty normal.
Right around now, I think I need to find a lake around here that plows out some spots or that has some tracks where other people have driven on it enough that I have a road that I can use. Because the real problem with the amount of snow that we have had, and I've seen it on other lakes, so like there's not even that many permanents around here because the trucks I don't think can drive out because the snow is deep. So you're looking at like being able to pull it out with a 4-wheeler. And that's what I'm seeing is like small permanents. So I'm like, I bet like a 4-wheeler drove that out there, or they were able to hook it up to a snowmobile or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even it was a truck, but you just have a better truck. You got one, with the big mud and tires or whatever that can handle this shit. Where, or it's a big, 250 where it's got a lot of weight to it because the plow trucks can handle driving, pushing snow on ice. So you'd think, anyways, but that's what I got to do is try to figure out where I can go. And then once I have a consistent spot that I can go, I think I need to learn a better lake out here because I am not as well versed. I think I need to choose a lake. And I think I really need to hammer down on one lake and try to figure that lake out a little bit. I think I need to accomplish my goal on one lake instead of jumping around from lake to lake.
Sure.
I think I need to do that. And
build that confidence by doing it in one spot, sort of. Not one spot, but like one location, because a spot, I guess, would indicate like a permanent. And that's not the goal.
Right.
The goal is to get more confident kind of overall, right?
Yeah, and I think really what it comes down to is just like finding fish. Like I will build the confidence with finding fish, and having my electronics, having that camera, and having the depth finder and everything, or the flasher, like if I can get out there, and obviously I want to catch some, but if I can at least see some, even like if I can't get in a bite, maybe I got to try a different lake where people are saying the bite is hot. But if I can just learn exactly what fish I'm over, that's going to help a lot. So I think
with this confidence goal that you
exactly.
got.
So I think I need to find a fish. I think I need to find a lake that I like that has multiple species if I'm trying to like go from one to another. And I need to try to figure that out, because I think that's how I got a lot of confidence in fishing as far as life goes, because I've messed with the same lake over and over so many times that I've really been able to figure out, you know, the movements in this lake.
Yeah.
And then I've been able to apply that to other places.
Yeah.
But ice fishing is new to me. Even I've ice fished other lakes more than I've ever fished or ice fished salmon.
Right.
I really never ice fished salmon.
Right.
The first time we were ever up there, I took a rock and I busted a hole in the ice and we went out like 100 feet, and I thought we were out there a ways, and it ended up only being like 5 feet. It was kind of low at that point in time. So we were in like 5 feet of water and there wasn't shit there. So I've never ice fished. That's the closest I've ever come to ice fishing that lake.
Sure. Interesting.
Because my parents have a minimum maintenance road, so it's not plowed. You can't get down to the cabin in the winter.
You can't get down there. No, because it's also so far north that's where they get dumped on.
Yeah, and if they plowed, that'd be my first choice.
Right, because you already know it when it's open water.
Well, and I got a place to stay. I could just go up to the cabin, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I get you, because then you could depart early in the morning, come back whenever, and you have.
Yeah, I could just leave all my stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. It wouldn't be that big of a deal to walk out onto the water if all my stuff's there.
Right.
Just go and like grab my sled and pull it out from the yard, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I think hammer down, like choose a lake and do my best to learn one lake. And then if I gain some confidence on that lake, start branching out. And obviously if somebody else is just like, you want to go fishing? Like, yeah, we'll go wherever you want to go. But,
yeah. Don't say no.
Yeah, of course, I'm not just going to be like, yeah.
But the building the confidence idea that you're talking about, like, is that's the plan. That's a really good plan. Shit, man, it's better than the plans that I got, because, well, I shouldn't say that entirely, because I have down get on the ice again as just a basic like goal.
Yep.
Just get out ice fishing again. So cool. If we get out ice fishing, great. Because that's really what the goal is go ice fishing with Tim. Now, I'm not saying there won't be other opportunities, but that's really what it comes down to. And if we go fishing and we end up getting a pike, that's 2 in 1, because I put down the pickled pike bites again, and I put it down as a video, and I'm putting it down. It's going to be a video. Now, if we're not filming while the pike is caught and everything like that, that's okay. Well, I will make it work. Trust me. Sure. I will fucking make it work, because it's such a goal. And when I get a pike, it's going to happen. It's going to be turned into pickled pike bites. Yeah. That's the whole point. So I still got that. And also, while I'm talking, Tim, if you come up with another one, just add it to the list. Remember.
Yep.
Putting it down on the website.
Put it down.
So if you think of something, let's just go. Okay. Walleye thing, I'm keeping that exactly the same too. Just try to get out with walleyes with the stuff that I haven't used yet, which is not new anymore, I guess, because it's like 2 or 3 years old or whatever. But okay. Here's where we start getting into a little bit of production and a little stuff like that. And I want to hear what you're thinking. You've already alluded to it a little bit, Tim. I got the catfish fry down again.
Yes.
But this was just catfish fry last year. Nothing more. So I'm adding a little bit to it this year.
Okay.
I want to make a short out of it. Now, I know that's what YouTube calls their like version of TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
Would it go there? Sure. Could it go there? Definitely.
Yeah.
what I mean specifically by that is make a short form video out of it, and however that ends up turning out, whether it
Okay.
be 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means yet, but I am saying that to say this. I don't necessarily think I will have a running camera while getting the opportunity to go catfishing, because there's a few areas, like I said it last year too. It's like I live in the kind of, sort of a river convergence area. There's a
Yeah.
lot of rivers around me.
Yep.
So the idea of going out with a camera on
Mm-hmm.
all the time
Yeah.
isn't necessarily what I'm looking for, because I may be just going out with friends from the area. Like I might just be going out with neighbors or something like that,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to kind of deal with the idea of like, hey, I'm going to have a camera rolling the whole time.
Yeah.
What do you think
Yeah.
about that, neighbor? It feels
Yeah.
weird a little
No, I
bit
totally
still.
get it. Like I just to jump in with that, like that's another thing that I deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, you want to get out there and record and stuff. And you see these people, like, you got to realize that when the people out there that are like making these fishing videos for YouTube and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the majority of the friends that they're fishing with are other people that are also putting out YouTube videos. So they're all in
Right.
the same boat. They're all doing that stuff.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And here in Minnesota, like a handful of us want to make videos and the rest of the state fishes. so you're like going out with people that like aren't in the same realm, and they think it's
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I wouldn't say necessarily anybody thinks it's weird, but I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people are out there just being like, yeah, put me in your video, you know?
Right.
So you just get everybody like looking at you weird. Like I fish so many places.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of people wearing cameras.
Right.
So it's just, it does make things awkward and weird, and especially when you're going out with friends and people you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are almost weirder. Like you would think that like a friend is who you would want to have on the camera, but you're like, I don't want to put you in an awkward spot. Where it's like a stranger,
Yep.
it's like, I don't give a shit. I'll put a camera in your face.
Right. Yeah. Like we're in a public place and I don't fucking know you, but like with a camera on, you don't want to put the pressure on a friend who isn't comfortable on camera.
Yeah.
Because you want to just be out there fishing and enjoying and having a couple beers and talking. But like you turn on the
Exactly.
camera and immediately they're just like,
Yeah.
and like it changes the way they behave. And you're just like,
Yeah.
why are you acting weird? And there's just like, there's something about it. Like there's always been something about that. People act different when the camera's on. Like
It's even
they
like
just don't
us
know what
right
to do.
here.
It's just, they're in their own fucking head about it is what it is.
Yeah. It's us right here putting out this stuff. Like a lot of people, like you say it or whatever, and they act like it's a big deal. And it's like, it's not that big of a deal to just get on here and talk and be yourself. Just be you, be normal. But a lot of people are just like, but I don't want people to see like who I am or whatever. It's like, well, I get it.
Right.
That's
Or
why
like
you're
they
not
don't even, they start to think about who they are, and or like they think that they have to entertain or something like that. And it's not that we don't think we have to be entertaining, because otherwise why the fuck would you listen or watch this stuff? But we started the podcast because we just think that our conversations are good and entertaining just as they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you don't want to force people to think that they have to keep talking. Me and you, this is just how we talk.
This is just how it goes.
We just always back and forth for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, it just always used to just be like a phone call real quick and just be like, dude, I just got something real quick to say. And then like an hour later, you're like, damn, we did it again, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I called it a short. Like I'm adding that to the fish fry, is because I may not end up catfishing with people who actually want to, you know, be on camera, be recorded, have their voice put out there, voice, image, everything, you know, whatever however you want to put that. So, um, I do want to do that
Oh,
with
okay. Yeah,
like
yeah.
I want to append that to that. I guess that's all I'm saying is like the pickle pike bite. I plan on making like a more full episode, but if it falls into
Yeah.
that shorter video category, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, this is a perfect time to transition into the real AF TV videos,
Yep.
goals, and stuff like that. But I don't want to yet because I added 2 more.
Okay.
I know I kept my list short last year, but I
Yeah.
added 2 more this year because I got those gillies
Oh, yeah.
and um I want to pull a predator out of one of my local ponds is what I put down. That's what I'm going to put down. One of my local ponds. A
Nice.
lot of, again, I live in an area where that has a lot of water. And so like there's rivers and there's these little low spots and that hold water and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. Is get a gilly to pull a predator out of one of these like, and I say local pond, it doesn't mean that it's not a lake. I just
Right.
mean that it's not a major lake. Like it's
Yeah.
something that I can drive to on a Saturday for 2 hours.
I think, like, now that you actually say that, I think that pond in the middle of town by you,
Yeah.
you could catch one on a gilly because I think that's probably their main forage.
That's
I think
why
the
I
bass
bought the version that I did is because you've seen it. You've fished there. We've caught fish there.
Mm-hmm.
They look like that. They're just a typical bluegill that live in
There's
that
a
pond.
lot of small bluegill in there, and I bet you that's their main forage. I bet that's what they eat all the time, and that's why it's such a good bait. That's what that you want. A lot of baits are like mimicking bluegills and stuff.
Right.
And if the cold water lasts a little bit longer, I would assume that they're still doing their spawn thing.
Oh.
And a lot of times the bluegill will kind of like swim up on the spawning bed and stuff.
Okay.
And the bluegill imitations work really good at that time too, because the bass are like territorial.
Okay.
Sometimes the big females are swimming around and just kind of snacking on stuff that, they're opportunistic. They see a chance.
Okay.
And sometimes the males are protecting the bed and just trying to run off everything. Sometimes they're eating, not necessarily eating stuff, just sucking it into their mouth to kind of swim it away and spit it out to get it like out of there.
Okay.
And all you need to do is get it in their mouth, So,
Right. Yeah. Because once it's in, just pull.
Yeah. I think the gilly is an amazing bait, is a great sunfish imitator.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different times to use an imitation of a sunfish. So I think you could do that right in town. And that's so accessible for you.
Yeah.
That if you don't catch it the first day, try again.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you for that. That's a confidence boost in it because I'm ready to throw that. I'm ready to, but it's got to be a predator, of course, a gilly. So that's why you know, pull a predator out. I don't care what it is. Just I want to pull something that's supposed to eat a bluegill.
And I think those fish are pretty pressured because I remember like we went out there.
Yep.
And I had them looking at my bait a lot, and I saw the fish a lot.
Okay.
And it took me a long time. I don't know if you remember that, but we were out there for a while, like where I was clearly seeing the fish, and it took me a while to get them to actually bite.
Yeah.
But I was using, I forget what. It wasn't a blue fit or a bluegill imitation. No. So matching their natural forage, that might just be the ticket. You might not even have to try. Like just cast that in there and it smells good to them and it looks good to them. Might hit it on the fall on your first cast.
Well, we can only hope. But thank you for the confidence booster. That is something that was something I wanted to put down on there because of the other one was get out on the ice again. So that's not that big of a deal. So let's jump back to me talking about the catfish fry and the shorts. I put down in the Real AF TV goals this launch into short videos.
Dude, so here's the thing. Like as you were kind of talking about that short video and you were saying like I can make some edits or whatever.
Yeah.
Literally pulled it up because I was going to write this in there and I go, oh, you wrote exactly what I was just going to put.
Sweet.
Yeah, I want to do the exact same thing. Like
All right, dude. Hell
when
yeah.
you said it, I was like, why aren't we doing that? Like, even if I don't get a chance to go out there and film for a long time,
Yeah.
there's no reason we can't make shorts.
Yeah.
Like, if the day is bad,
Mm-hmm.
if stuff's going bad, find a calm pocket and do your best to get like 20 minutes to a half hour on tape,
Yep.
and we could edit it down to a short from
Yeah.
there. It doesn't
Right.
even need to be that long, but I'm just saying, like, give yourself some leeway
No,
instead of
you're
being out there for like
yeah.
5 hours at a
Yeah.
time, you know?
Well, I mean, let's be totally honest. Is like again, we're not saying TikTok. We're not saying Reels. We're not saying
But
Shorts.
maybe
We're not
TikTok.
saying, huh?
I said, but maybe TikTok.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to pin it to a specific
Sure. I get you.
platform or
Yep.
format even, because remember, Shorts, TikTok, they're vertical. Reels, they're vertical, right?
Oh,
If we're
yes.
making, because we're
Yeah, I
shooting
forget about
horizontal
that.
almost always.
Yeah,
Better video format. That's all there is to it. It's a better video format. But
for sure.
that's why I don't want to say this specific kind of short, because if it does get up to 5 minutes, right? If you shoot for an hour and we get 5 minutes out of it, fuck yeah, dude. Awesome.
Right.
That's still a short though.
Sure.
Anything that's not over, I want to say an hour now. But if you remember back in the day when YouTube first started, you could only upload 10 minutes at a time.
I do remember that.
It was a short video format. So like I'm saying anything that's 10 minutes or under is a short form video. And there are just now other platforms out there to do your 30, 60, 90 second videos, right?
Right.
So however that falls in to what we want to do, I embrace it.
Yeah.
I don't want to just say make a bunch of 60-second videos, you know?
Sure.
So
I get you.
Yeah, that's all. So I'm glad that you are like on the same page, because it does like the best videos on TikTok, the highest viewed videos on TikTok don't get made in 3.5 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
Put in 8 hours of work, edit it down to 60 seconds. Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Or
shoot
even if it's
for
not
60 minutes, edit it down to a minute.
Right. Or exactly. Edit it down. That's what it is. And even if it's like something like stand up, or people are using like clips of their podcasts and stuff, there's clearly a lot more work that went into it. You're just taking the small little section of it.
Right. Yep.
So there's way more that went into making that clip. It's not like, we just turned on the cameras, came down here and went, and then like cut that like minute.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree with that. So because of that, like what you were saying, like I get what you're saying, but I think I would like to like put a goal for myself, because I can edit small things, like I don't know a ton about it, but I know I can put together some small stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I would like to set a goal for myself then, as to put up some of the more TikTok-ish, whatever that might be, on Instagram Reels or on the YouTube Shorts, where it is just small clips.
I got you.
Like so that. Because I have a lot of ideas that are more like comedic.
Yes.
And there's another fisherman out there. I can't.
And I don't think we should stray away
from
from comedy. We just didn't get as much comedy in that first crappy video as
for sure
maybe could have or whatever. We share videos on Slack like ideas on Slack all the time, and they're fucking hilarious. We just haven't done them yet.
The ideas are there. We just need the time and whatever. But yeah, I've seen another fisherman that is on TikTok that basically just does humor and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it's not what he does, but I'm like, yeah, we can edit clips together like this. And if it's working for him, that can work for us. I don't know if it will for sure. Obviously there's no guarantees, but that's what I'm setting as a goal. to at least get some of these out there, to be able to again, more so like get the footage
Yeah.
handled.
Yeah.
If the editing doesn't come right away, that's a secondary goal.
Right.
But
Okay.
that first goal is to get the footage for the ideas that I have, not just like put down the ideas
Right.
and then say like, oh, we'll film it some other time. It's like, if I get the opportunity, let's put down the ideas for that,
Yeah.
save it, know
Yeah.
what the idea names are. Maybe a goal is to like review some of these things and then break it down in categories of like, what do I need to do to make this clip happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then go out there and do
Right.
that. So,
Well, that leads me to one more thing. Like, I don't want to. You still got a thought? I don't want to cut you off.
no. I mean, I'm just kind of like, I'm almost in the moment, kind of like
Right.
writing this down.
You're starting to work
So
it out in your brain already in real time.
This here is like, I'll just have to listen back to this episode, I think, because I'm literally what you're getting is my brain working on the mic. So
Right.
I think I just have to listen back to this and be like, what did I say? Because I don't know if I'll remember it. I apologize if anybody can tell that I'm sleep deprived. I'm doing my best to.
No,
I'm
you're
on
doing
like
great.
half an energy drink, and I'm like kind of, sometimes I catch myself rambling and stuff, and just like we said, like, this is over, I'll go to sleep, and tomorrow I'll probably forget everything, but I'll be able to listen back to it and then just be like,
Right.
that's what I was talking about. And
Right. Well,
then when I listen back to it, it will be the new year with everybody else, and the vision board will happen.
yes.
I will go get a piece of tag board. Now I'm getting a second wind. I'm getting myself amped up. No more tired. Okay.
Energy.
Sorry. Energy. What were you saying? I cut you off with my
random...
random.
No. I just wanted to say, like, I put down Tim's studio again. I just put it down because what you're saying to me, there was a lot of opportunity and worked in there.
Yeah.
That could be done with the studio. Like you said, What do I need to do to get this short to happen? I shot 20 minutes of video out in the field. What do I need to make this short happen? Bam, go to the studio. I got studio footage that I can throw in there. Like, that is why I'm going to keep it on there. Not only because I want to help make it happen, but I think it's going to be something that would help us launch into the shorter form, more, still good quality, just short form. I put up 26 good photos or short form videos. Like, I put a number on it. I put 26 because that's roughly the number of podcasts every other week. Right. Yeah. So I put a number on it. So that way we can even go back and reflect on it. Now, where we put these photos, where we put these videos, I mean, photos, come on, Instagram, let's be honest. Twitter, not a bad place, right? Facebook, fine place for them.
Yep.
All the social medias are a fine place for those. So I didn't put it down specifically, but I said, just like decent photos or short form videos. I just feel like that's so achievable and something we can do to just make more content that we want to. Because am I wrong to say this, Tim, that with a good photo, because you've done it already before, comes a decent caption that follows sort of the goals of Real AF TV of like learning and like, like learning something from the photo or from the moment or being funny, educating with humor, I guess, is maybe one way to put it,
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely like, when I put out a picture, I've never been one to just,
hashtag sweet fish.
Yeah. Hashtag weekend photo dump. Like I put out, like, when I put a picture out there, I put a caption, and I haven't done it very much recently. And again, like, not to make excuses, but I feel like therapeutically, like, I'm getting back to like a good headspace where I'm not like pissed off.
Sure.
We've talked about it before. I had the Nintendo Switch and the DSLR camera
Right.
stolen.
Stolen from you
So
a
some
year
of
ago, right? About a
yeah,
year
so
ago.
some of yeah, exactly. So some of this stuff like it it shouldn't have lasted that long and I should have been able to get over it, but for some reason I couldn't get past it.
Well, I
Like
mean,
I'm out
not
there
to
like
be like weird
w-
or anything, but
no,
like
no, I totally get
your
it. Like
personal space was invaded, dude. Like
yeah, and I
that's not
wanted
something
to like
someone
I
just
want
gets
to go
over
out there.
easily.
I did a lot of research and I was like like really digging into the camera and trying to learn the ins and outs of it. And I know like the used camera is not that much, but as far as like spending money on something I already had is like so hard for me to do when I've already
Right.
like purchased it and like now I gotta go buy
Right.
one again. Like
Right.
I don't like doing that. I like to buy something and then if I make an upgrade, that's fine.
Right.
But now to just go like flat out go buy another camera when the other one is just gone, like
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal. And I don't want to go off on
But
this or
it's a
whatever,
mental hurdle, and
but
that's
it
like
is.
that's just like
Yeah.
the honest truth of it.
And it's like I wanted to take these photos and I wanted to put this stuff down, but like in this moment of like I'm getting everything ready and I'm making sure like I got this camera and I learned how to use it, it's gone. It's been taken
Almost when you
away
were
from me.
peaking too, which is part of the problem.
Yeah, it was like right when I was like I'm really starting to figure this camera out. I'm starting to learn how to do it. I have all
Yep.
these ideas to go and take pictures,
Yep.
and it like took something from me in a like it like to
It
go
took those
I can't
it
think of the
tainted
word right
all those
now.
ideas then on top of it,
Yeah,
right?
it like the motivation, that's the word, like the
Okay.
motivation to go
Yeah.
do it, like it was kind of like taken away from me where I'm just like I'm back to my phone. Like I've
Right.
always had my phone. Like I'm
Right.
back to taking pictures with my phone again. And
Mhm.
the phone
Mhm.
cameras are as good as they've ever
Dope.
been, you know.
Yeah.
They're ridiculously awesome and I could just get over it, but it was like something about it kind of put me in a funk. And now because there was such a hiatus, it feels now there's this hurdle of like when do I come back in? How do I get back into it, you know? It's that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like to be
Yeah.
transparent to everybody that's
Yep.
listening and stuff.
Mhm.
Like why isn't there as much Instagram content out there and stuff? It's like the part of it is because I am busy, but it's not that hard to go take pictures and stuff. It's like the other part is just like, when do you jump back in? You know, it's like double dutch. It's like it's there to be, but
Great
like when
analogy. Yeah.
I don't want to fuck it up. I feel like I'm gonna like hop in and I don't know. I want to come in with the right thing. You know, I
Yeah.
gotta. That's part of it. Where and I don't want to. I don't want to half-ass it and come back in with like a couple of pictures and then not have
And then
content
drop off again
to
right away.
continue it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanna have a game plan to make sure I know what's going on.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
not to go off on too
No,
much of
no,
a
no,
rant
but that's
again, but
why I also
that's
put it
I
down
mean,
the way I did.
it's yeah, it's a perfect goal to set up everything to be set up to make sure we have all of this stuff down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think yeah, in to be transparent again, like with the whole like when stuff was taken from me, I did end up getting a new Switch. So
Yeah.
like
Right.
my mom hooked me up for Christmas. She has
Yeah.
this like
Hell yeah.
reward system, like not trying to be like, you know, for some reason I feel like I need to justify that I'm like not just getting gifted this stuff. I'm not like a spoiled brat.
I know.
Like it didn't cost her any money to do this because she has like this reward system through her work. So it was a very generous gift for her to spend her like points that she gets
Yeah.
rewarded for through
So
her work.
essentially her like bonus money if you want like is a way to
Yeah,
look at
pretty
it,
much.
right?
It's like a
Like
bonus money to just go get shit. You know, it's not like she gets to spend it on, you know, whatever or invest it. She has to use these points to go and get tangible items and it's
yeah.
all cool stuff, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it's that kind of but like that therapeutically was like that is given back to me. I now no longer walk past the video game aisle in Walmart or Target pissed off because that was legitimately like I would walk past him and I just every time I seen it, I'm like, ugh. Or I'd be watching TV or like a YouTube video and a Switch ad comes up and I'm just like, motherfucker. And it's stupid. I know it's stupid, but it's so it just
Again,
made me mad, and that's
yeah,
kind of what the pictures were doing too, where it's like a memory, but it's like I got half of it back. I'm ready to move past it.
yeah.
I'm
And that's
ready to
also
stop
why I
bitching
put
about it.
like it's also kind of why I put it down on the Real AF TV and then just put an asterisk by yours, is because it's like I don't like together, like I want to help produce that content now too, right? It's like, okay, in Slack, I'm just gonna like send some videos like, hey, here's a video, or here's a photo, right? I think this will work. Like, I think this will get us to our 26. Now, is that going to happen this week of the podcast? No. Is that going to happen next week in the off week? Is it going to happen in January? I don't know. I don't think so, but it doesn't. The goal is 26, kind of like one per podcast, like sort of balance the two, right? Like, here's the
Yeah.
podcast, and then here's another thing that's just a little bit more work, a little bit more time, and get quality stuff by
Yes.
keeping it at that level and putting a number on it where we can go back on this come the fall and say like, cool, we got 15. We have 3 more weeks to get up to our goal of 26.
Mhm.
Can we produce that? Can we get that without putting up shit? Without
Right.
just like walking up and hashtag photo weekend dump or whatever you said.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. I don't think that this needs to be put down either, but I think a good tangible goal and a good like just state of mind to be in too is to knowing that this is going to happen again next year, like as far as like we're going to do this.
yeah.
I want to come into next year's episode not just being like, let's carry over this stuff from like talking like Eeyore.
I know.
Let's carry over this stuff from 2023 to
Grab the stuff from
2024.
last year.
It's pretty easy to make a list when your list didn't get checked off.
For sure. Dude, that's a really good point, a really great way to put it, especially with me but that's also when the transfer it over and adding a few things to it too. It's
Right.
just like, well, you can
Yep.
only transfer and add to for so long before the goal's fucking unachievable. But
Well, that's
yeah,
what I was
100%.
like. That's what I was like too when you were asking like, do you have more to add? And I was kind of thinking like, there are things that I would like to do, but I think I need to not overwhelm myself.
Right.
I wouldn't
Keep-
say our goals are lofty, but we have a lot that's out there as
Yeah.
far as accomplishing the stuff we weren't able to accomplish already. Like,
Right.
let's not
Yep.
get too crazy and
Yeah.
add on other stuff. If we're able to accomplish those goals and move beyond that, great.
Yep.
But to put everything down on the board is almost like a daunting task in itself.
Yeah.
And
The vision board will get crowded, dude. You look
the
at it
vision
and
board
you'll
will
be like,
get
shitty
crowded.
collage, bro.
Yeah, if we hit June and I'm like haven't like hit anything, I'll start getting discouraged. Be like, we're halfway through the year and I haven't done a fucking thing again. But I don't see that happening this year. I see like it's just it. I think, especially like knowing that we came into this year, like the end of this year, with this whole like what happened with our goals. It's like I think
Right.
that's motivation in itself.
Yeah,
When
for sure.
stuff isn't
I agree.
going right and
Yep.
like you're tired and things aren't really happening, it's like just whatever.
Right.
You got to get it done.
Yeah.
You
Get
know?
out there and get a fucking good photo, man. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Tim, let's start wrapping this up, and I'll bring up something after this. Anyways, do what we always do. Like, subscribe, because we are over on YouTube. Remember, Real AF TV, real like fish and real. Look us up. We could use the subscribes. We can use the likes. We can do the comments. We look at the comments. We see the comments. We get back at the comments. All of that fun stuff. We are interactive with that. Remember, patreon.com/realaftv, patreon.com/realaftv, real like fish and real. You already heard it in the middle, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm blanking right now. Help me out, dude.
The Patreon, did you say that?
Reviews on
Reviews.
Spotify. I think you got to be on the
Reviews.
app.
Oh,
Reviews
yeah.
on iTunes. All that
Yep.
stuff helps us out.
The reviews help for sure. It's a big deal. I actually heard that like the algorithm, like it's not the amount of like listeners you have. It's the amount of like interactions and reviews and stuff, like
Right.
as far as iTunes go.
Yep.
That's what I heard, is like they don't give a shit how many people watch it.
Yeah.
It's all
Those are
about
for
people.
you. Those are for us as the producers of the podcast to use for whatever, motivation or reason or however you go about using them. But the algorithm doesn't really pay that close attention. And it's because it's a social interaction thing. Like, if you don't have an engaged audience, then it's not necessarily doing that well to the algorithm. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes total sense. It's just like Siri sitting back there and you're like, Siri, we have like 1,000 views. And then Siri's like, I don't care. They didn't say anything to you. Did they say what's up? No.
Right. So give us a 5-star review that just says what's up, and we'll be like,
what's up?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yep. Write whatever you want in there. Just mash the keyboard. I don't care.
It's got
no, but seriously, like if you have any feedback for us or whatever, like hit us up.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Or
leave it in a review.
If you have any questions, I know that we're not always like getting in depth, and like your feedback that you had with like not always in Minnesota or whatever, like if people got questions about Minnesota fishing, like I know a lot about Minnesota fishing when it's open water. Obviously we talked about the hard water here, but I can still answer some questions. Like if you, or we can hash it out together.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I'm more than happy. Like I am more than happy to take advice from people too.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out and just be like, I heard your podcast. Here's how I always start my day. I'm not going to just be like, whatever. Like I will listen to what you have to say, and just be like, really? Like that's okay, cool. I will give that a shot, or, whatever
or
it
have a
happens
back and
to
forth.
be. Yeah. Have a back and forth.
For
like,
sure.
You got to respect your peers, or your, like whoever's on the, even above you. Like I'm not going to shit on anybody that's just like, I just want to get that out there, that if anybody says like, I think you should do this, I'm not going to just be like, which one of us has a podcast? Because you could have a podcast too. It doesn't...
Yeah, for sure. That's I love that you put it that way. It's just like you're not going to be that guy about it just because we have a podcast and just because we're on these platforms and stuff like that. It's just like, no, guys, we're out here to engage and learn and be interactive with the listeners and the people who are watching too, of course. So don't be shy. We're listening.
Even if you come off as having no idea what you're doing, if you can tell me how you caught a fish, like if you caught a fish and you tell me how you caught a fish, I'm still interested.
Yeah.
You might not have any other experience except for this one fish that you caught this one time, this one way. I'm still interested to hear how you did it,
Yeah. And we'll just ignore the blatant dickheads.
Oh yeah. If you're an asshole,
that's it.
Like that's a different story. I might not ignore you. I might.
That's right.
Like
Tim.
We're not.
Tim sometimes likes a battle.
Sometimes it's fun.
I will fucking ignore you.
Yeah, we're not big enough to just be like, I have to ignore the 3,000 of these dickheads today. It's just like, if you're a dick, I might come at you, bro.
Just saying.